Everyone, hi, this is Christine, and welcome to my channel, and happy Friday to you all. Now, imagine this: you're able to get contracts international as well as in, if you're in America, then why not apply for government contracts under Trump's presidency? Why not make the most of the contracts that are available to your organization? So I'm going to talk to you today about the top 5 services to sell to the government under Trump's presidency. So watch this until the end, because I have got some really good information for you. And I want you to be able to take action, because like how yesterday I talked about where you can get the contracts for. I put the link in. If you watch my video that I did yesterday, my live video that I did yesterday, it'll be here somewhere. I'll put the description once I've finished this video, for example. And I talk about how you can actually find the contracts. There was one which Elon Musk applied for and said that he'd won this contract for 400 million. So I wanted to investigate to see where this information is, for example. So I went onto the US Department website, for example, and under the contract section. And in the video that I did yesterday, the live that I did yesterday, I provided the link as well so that you could see for yourself what the requirements are for winning this particular contract, for example. And I'm just going to make sure that I turn my phone off. And what I also want to say to you is that with this, you're able to look at what contracts are available, even look at ones that have been set aside, and see it you applying for those particular contracts, for example. Now, it also explains to you when you're looking at working with the department, the State Department, the US State Department for contracting, for example, it tells you what it's looking for, what the requirements are, for example. And I want you to be able to think about making sure that do you want to question what the government's doing at the moment, or would you just prefer to just get on and do the contract working with the government, for example? So there's a lot of questions, compelling questions that we could, question regarding how this person is able to get this particular contract when, has everyone really been given a fair chance, which I did speak about that yesterday. Could it have been a conflict of interest for Elon Musk to get that contract in the US Department, for example? Now, especially when, Doge is working in the department, basically shrinking and getting rid of federal agency workers, for example, that could be seen as a conflict of interest. And, is he able to apply under those bases, for example? Because in the UK, you're not allowed to, for example. So I wanted to really, draw home to yourselves about the government contracting, and under the new administration, that this really did immediately capture my interest, because I am watching, even though I don't usually watch the news or even TV itself, but this is compelling me, especially when it's to do with contracts and things like that, because that's where what I specialize in as well, for example, as well as AI automation, because I am interested in the AI and I do provide AI automation services, and I will be doing a wonderful interview in the next couple of weeks, for example, on this. Now, it captured my interest. Well, why did it capture my interest? It captured my interest because I wanted to understand why government contracting is changing so drastically. And I want to be able to give you the top 5 services to sell to the government, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that are being squashed and scrapped and orders being made, etc. But look at what you can do that is going to give you the contracts that you'll be able to win, for example. Okay, these contracts still exist. Okay, it's just the ones that the orders have been written against. Stay away from those ones. They're too controversial right now. So you need to focus on the ones that you can apply for and to be able to win that contract, to show evidence that you are the number one choice for getting that particular contract. So how do you position your business for success? So throughout the video, what I'll be talking to you about is how you need to take action. You can also, there's the in the actual department, State Department, for example, US State Department, there is a spreadsheet, Excel sheet, where you can actually download, and it shows you where these contracts are, who the contact person is, email, etc. And I want you to be able to do that, to download that guide, for example, about the government contracts. So looking at this, what I want you to think about is, how does this make sense to you right now by listing the services that you can look at providing, for example. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of each one. So you can provide essential supplies, because, not all contracts are stopped. So look at the ones that are available. Things like essential supplies, i.e. healthcare, products, food supplies, janitorial products, for example. You can get a lot of contracts in that. The second one is technology, solutions, AI automation. This is what I do, AI automation. Cyber security, software for efficiency. That's number 2. The third one is infrastructure and facility management. Could be construction, for example, leasing, maintenance. Then the fourth one is the Bureau of Prison Services for military, prisons, community programs, things like that. And the fifth one, which is religious and counseling services for military, prisons, community programs. This is something which is truly something which you'll be able to apply for and you'll be eligible for, providing you meet the right criteria and that you put in a really strong statement, for example. So like I said, the Bureau of Prisons Services is to do with nutrition, healthcare, security solutions, for example. You can offer things like this with the department, the US Department, for example. And I will put the links here as well in this video so that you'll be able to see. So think about it. What about if you was to be able to provide these 5 services, or one, just choose one to begin with, and look at this, because it is in high demand. And the government contracts during this Trump presidency is available for you. So like I said, there's construction, infrastructure, and think about the government spending on the infrastructure projects that's arisen. For an example, with initiatives like rebuilding of roads, bridges, for example, services in construction or things like that is booming as well. Number 2, security and defense. Technology is massive. AI is massive. We know this, don't we? Highlight the increased defense that is needed right now and how you can provide. So one example would be companies providing cybersecurity services or seeing major contracts, especially now that there's all this, I might as well call it chaos. I can see a lot of chaos. So there's a lot of things that need fixing, for example, and you can be part of that. Number 3, IT services. Software solutions is a good one, for example. Then look at the digital services that's needed in government. So one example is you could service like cloud computing, for example, and data management. This has been vital for government agencies. Number 4, healthcare services. Now, there is a high demand for health services. And an example here is that government contracts for healthcare providers have surged, especially for telehealth services. That's where the new thing is coming in and has been for some time. It's just that some of you aren't aware of it. So start looking at telehealth services and how you can look at providing that services to the government, especially under President Trump's presidency as well. So think about focus on sustainability, climate change, for example. One example would be that companies that provide environmentally consulting services are in demand, for example. I'd love to know what your comments are with me speaking about what, contracts you can look at applying for. So I'm going to go a bit more deeper into this now that I've explained this to you, and I want to really go into it deeper and deeper. Now, the top 5 services that are in high demand, I've explained to you under the Trump's presidency, and how you can position your business to win those federal contracts. So make sure that you stay until the end, because I will be looking at seeing, whether there's some messages in the chat, for example.